Держу 12.
The servicemen of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade filmed these images on GoPro cameras during the liberation of Andriivka. This is a small village 10 kilometers from Bakhmut and 3 from Klishchiivka. Before the full-scale Russian invasion, 77 people lived here. All of them were evacuated to Ukrainian-controlled territory before the Russian occupation. Andriivka has been under occupation by the Russian army since the end of November last year. September 15th, the Ukrainian Defense Forces installed the Ukrainian flag here.
Третя штурмова.
The 3rd assault completely liberated the village of Andriivka. Glory to the nation, death to the enemies.
15 числа ми повідомили.
On the 15th, we announced about liberation. In general, it should be noted that the settlement as such no longer exists. Unfortunately, it was destroyed long ago, back in the time of Wagner PMC, when they attracted us. There have been no civilians there for a long time either, but as head, as let's say a square, important for the military, for the right flank of Bakhmut, this is a very important place.
The servicemen who took part in the deoccupation of the village say that as a result of heavy fighting, there was not a single surviving building left. Street fighting took place among the ruins.
Оп, оп. О! Да, ти. Це прямо перед нами впало? Це прямо перед нами? 152, напевно.
Такі великі операції.
Such large operations, of course, mean losses, and it is necessary to note two such important points. The best come from us, and the Russians, for the most part, abandon people who do not understand what and why and what they are fighting for. This is the first thing. And secondly, all these videos that we release are direct contact 5-10 meters. They look very cool, but the problem with such things is that NATO soldiers, if we take it by NATO standards, they would bombard them with aircraft and missiles and other means, and they would have almost no such videos. This indicates that unfortunately, due to the fact that we do not have such firepower at the moment, the entire burden of the war falls on the fighters, on the soldiers.
During the liberation of Andriivka, the enemy used all types of weapons against the Ukrainian defenders. But despite this, the tactics of the defense forces turned out to be much more effective.
There were many Russians, and they also have a very large advantage in artillery. Constant shelling, highly targeted positions, literally at every house. What was left of them, mortars, artillery, and so on, have already been targeted. In Andriivka, they walked through the main street and cleared the houses that were there or the remnants of Russian occupiers. Several were captured.
According to Ilya, it was a moment when the invaders were captured that became one of the most memorable for him these days.
There was a situation when Russians were captured. They gave up. 3 people remained in the house. They were captured. They come out. The guys tied them up. I control them. The guys tied them up and they left the house. My brother in arms and I went to clear the house. And then it flew straight at the prisoner. 120mm caliber. The prisoner, of course, was killed. We were shell-shocked. What was impressive that they saw that we were taken prisoners and purposefully worked on their own.
For his brother-in-arms, Victor, this moment turned out to be one of the most terrible during the entire assault on Andriivka.
When it arrived, I didn't understand anything at first. Only then, the next day, did I begin to understand that all 6 of us miraculously remained alive, because we were 5 meters from the explosion of the 120mm mine. I only saw a flash and thought that was the last thing I saw. It was a miracle that we all survived.
Viktor is 29. The man comes from the temporarily occupied Enerhodar. At the time of the full-scale invasion, he was in his hometown, and he ended up under Russian occupation.
в Енергодарі. Я сам виїхав оттуда.
I left there myself. True, they didn't let me out for 8 days. But I got out. Then I walked around Zaporizhia. It was shelling. I thought I'll probably go too, to defend my country, my land, because I want to return to my city Enerhodar. I really want to return there and return all our lands in general.
Speaking about the fighting for Andriivka, servicemen of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade emphasized that this bridgehead allows the defense forces to gain a foothold at the required height for further advance in the Bakhmut direction. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Anastasia Volkova, UATV News.